welcome back to my channel. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who watched my COVID-19 recovery video. Now that everyone knows that I'm okay, I've actually had a lot of people reach out to me over the last week and a half asking me about one of my side hustle jobs that allows me to teach from home. So I thought I'd make another video for you guys. As many of you know, I'm a singer and an actor and a performer. That is my profession, but I have a few other things that I do to make money so that I can survive on this earth. Some people call it a survival job, some people call it a Joe job. I like the term side hustle. Side hustles can be a lot of work, especially when you're juggling a full-time performing career or an off and on performing career, or you're chasing that performing career. Most performers that I know and people in the arts have side hustle jobs. Sometimes we're a bit sheepish to admit it. I don't know why. I used to be sheepish to admit it. I'm not really anymore. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. Theater right now is not a thing, and a lot of people in the arts have also lost their side hustle jobs, which is incredibly stressful. If anyone out there is really struggling to figure out how they're going to survive the next month, few months, year, this might be for you. I teach English online to students in China and South Korea through a company called VIPKID. I've been with this company for exactly 2 years now, and it has been a complete game changer for me in terms of stability, financial freedom, geographic freedom, because I can pick my hours and I can teach from anywhere. Now, I have 3 criteria to meet for a good side hustle job. Flexibility in terms of how often I work and when I work. I need a job that flexes my artistic muscles, or at least doesn't allow my muscles to atrophy. I've worked soul-sucking survival jobs that have left me completely depleted and defeated, and to me are just not worth the money. My 3rd criteria for a side hustle job is that it makes good money. This is just my experience, but as a performer, I feel like I have a lot of bankable skills that translate to other areas, and I don't settle for anything less than I'm worth. My teaching job with VIPKID fulfills all these criteria, and I'd really recommend it for anybody who's looking for flexible work from home, especially right now. I'll talk about how I got started with VIPKID, the hiring process, what it's like to actually do it, the pros and cons of a job like this, and what everyone wants to know, bottom line, how much money do I make? All right, let's go. How I got started. I saw a post on Facebook about 3 years ago from a person that I went to university with, who is an opera singer, casually mentioning that she teaches English online in her spare time. So I looked up the name of the company. I think I thought it was pronounced VIPKID at the time. Definitely not. VIPKID. And inevitably, a bunch of these kinds of videos popped up on YouTube. I'm so excited! I was totally scared off. These people are crazy. And I shelved the idea for about a year. I had a particularly bad year financially. I had to do a lot of traveling for auditions. I was back and forth from England, very stressed out about money, and also very stressed out about the idea of committing to a job in a certain place because I didn't know where I was gonna be. So then VIPKID came back into my mind. I did a bit more reading. I realized that every teacher has their own style and you don't have to be crazy. You can bring your own personality and still be a success. And I got hired. In order to be eligible to apply as a VIPKID teacher, you need 4 things. The legal ability to work in either Canada or the United States, a Western accent. What they just mean is like either an American or Canadian accent. This is because one of the selling points of VIPKID is that their children will learn Americanized English. You need a bachelor's degree from a university or college, and you need some kind of teaching experience. It doesn't have to be in a classroom. I can tell you when I applied, I had tutored the children I babysat for, and I had helped to teach 2 drama workshops to school level children. All of that accumulated to about a year's worth of teaching experience. And that's all I needed. Read between the lines. Any kind of teaching experience that adds up to about a year. There are a few steps to the hiring process and a few different avenues that you can choose. I will only speak about the one that I think works the best. It has the highest success rate, it's the easiest by far, and it's the quickest. So when you apply for VIPKID, you punch in all of your eligibility and they'll set you up with a demo lesson. If you complete your application on your smartphone, it'll prompt you to download the VIPKID app and you'll do what is called a smart demo. You'll do a little quiz. I think it's only about 6 questions. And then you'll do what they call a smart demo lesson on your phone, teaching 1 slide from a lesson. It's pretty easy. Then, if you pass your smart demo, you'll be scheduled for a mock lesson with a one-on-one mock mentor. And what they will do is they'll take a lesson from you as if they were a Chinese student. It can be a little weird and funny, but just go with it. They will mispronounce things on purpose so that you can correct them. They might pretend to be a bit confused when you explain something, so you have to explain it in a different way. And then they'll send you an email letting you know if you've passed your mock lesson or if you've been rescheduled to take another one. They give you all of the materials to look at. They give you instructions on how to teach. Basically, everything is laid out for you. Again, it's pretty easy. I was lucky enough to pass on the first try. You'll get feedback on your mock lessons, so you'll have the opportunity to improve every time you take one. This all sounds very complicated and intimidating. It's much easier once everything is in front of you and you just do it. So don't be intimidated, just do it. And then you'll be hired and ready to start teaching. This entire process takes about a week, which is pretty good considering you can do all of it in your pajama pants. The things that I would recommend for your smart demo and your mock lesson is a nice background. Honestly, just a map of the world or a painting would do. I wouldn't go ham on your background quite yet. I wouldn't go full out on your background just yet until you get hired and you kind of figure out what you need in terms of a background. This will all make sense when I show you my background a bit later on. The classes don't use up that much internet, but you do need a decent connection. You also need either a computer or a tablet. I used to teach from a computer and now I only teach from my iPad. If you're using a computer, you need a mouse. I would recommend a wireless, and you need a pair of headphones with a microphone. I use my Bose noise canceling headphones so that I don't have to have this dorky mic thing here, but it's up to you. I know people who teach with just Apple headphones, although I've noticed from experience that they like to be able to see the headphones. I don't know why, just go with it. As long as you're thorough, you're kind, you're specific, you correct pronunciation, you use hand gestures when it's appropriate, you should be good to go. When you first start out, you'll be teaching mostly trial classes. And these are for students who haven't signed up for the VIPKID curriculum yet. They're just trying it out to see if it's for them. It's a really low pressure, low stakes class to get you teaching and practicing. Every trial lesson that you teach that has a successful turnover, which means that the child signs up for the VIPKID program, you get an extra $5 per class, which can add up if you're really good at trial turnovers. I found that the more I could make the kid laugh, the more likely they were to sign up. Parents like to see that their kids are having fun, and if you can make them have fun while you're teaching them English, that's the perfect formula. After about a week and a half of teaching only trial classes, I started getting some regular students. I have some regular students who have been with me since my second week teaching, and I've gotten to see them grow up. It's really cute. All of the classes are 25 minutes long. They have about 25 slides per class. The slides are just like a PowerPoint. You cover the material on them. They all have instructions as to what to do. As an example, have the student read the passage and then ask questions about it, or you read the questions, have the student answer, or read the word, have the student repeat the word. Depends on the level, but it's all laid out for you, which is so fantastic. There are 7 levels in VIPKID. Most classes you'll teach at the beginning are level 2 and 3. These are children that have about a year to 3 years of English. Most of them can already read, but they need a lot of help with pronunciation and with having the courage to speak on their own. You also have level 1 students who are usually ages 3 to 5 who have 0 English experience. And you have levels 4 to 7. Those lessons focus less on reading and more on conversation and critical thinking and comprehension. Every teacher has their preference. I'm actually not certified for level 1 because teaching 3-year-olds at an iPad does not compute with me. But I know some teachers who only teach level 1 because they love it, just not me. I taught a lot of level 2 and 3 when I first started, but a lot of those kids have now advanced to levels 4 through 7, and those are actually my favorite levels. It feels like a lot more of a conversation than teaching them a lesson, and that's just what I prefer. When I'm not in a show and I'm not traveling, I usually work 6 mornings a week, Monday to Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in China. I also sometimes work Friday evening and or Saturday evenings from 8:30 to 11. Right now, I got nothing better to do, so I'm teaching both of those evenings. And now after all of this talking, I wanted to show you what it's really like, so I filmed myself teaching this morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. It is 6:30 a.m. I start teaching at 7. So I'm going to get my hair under control, put a little bit of mascara on. I'm also going to wear one of my VIPKID t-shirts today. I'm teaching a couple of trial classes, and when I teach trial classes, I like to look a little bit more branded. I think the parents like it. I feel a little bit more professional, but when I'm teaching my regular students, I wear whatever I want. Sweaters, t-shirts. I don't usually wear pajama shirts, although I have been known to wear pajama shirts if they're presentable. So yeah, see you in a sec. I'm gonna head down to my classroom in a moment, but first, coffee. Do you look like your sister? Maybe a little? Yeah, that's a good way to be alike, if you look alike. Can we read? Friends? Oh, Good. Do family members look alike or different? What is a time when you might act angry? Yeah, when you have to go to school. That might be a time to act angry. Maybe, if you're having a bad day. Your speaking is getting so good. Have a good night. See you next time. Oh, hello. What is your name? All right, we'll try to fix it. Tech support, they can't hear me. So a fireman is currently dealing with the problem. The student can't hear me, but that's okay. He seems really sweet. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong spot. Oh, hello. Oh, bless you. Sad? Silly. Ice cream. Can you listen? Can you click apple? Very good. Goodbye. Do you want to see my dog? Okay, hang on. You say hello, dog. Okay, we say bye. Were there dogs in the past? How do you know there were dogs in the past? Oh, that's a great answer. Wow, that's awesome. How did a wolf become a dog? Have a good night. Bye. That's it. So I will take you guys downstairs now to my classroom where I teach every morning. So you see this is my backdrop. I have the VIPKID logo, I have my name, I have a world map, I have a whiteboard that is magnetized so I can hang up the prizes or I can write stuff on there if I need to. I have some flags and a happy face because everybody loves a nice emoji. I have China and the US because yeah, and I have Canada because we're the best. Oh, that's good. That's also a perfect height for talking. You notice the different ways that I talk to my students depending on their level and depending on how regular they are to me. My regular students, I know them, I know that they have siblings, I know their parents sometimes, and right now I know how long they've been home from school. I actually had one student go back to school today, so she was very excited to tell me about that. Level 1 trial especially is a lot of repetition and sing-songiness. Sing-songiness, that's a word. Pros and cons. Because you're dealing with a time difference in China of 12 hours if you're in Eastern Standard Time, like me, your hours are both early in the morning and late at night. There's no way around it, but if early mornings are not your thing, this may not be the job for you, and that's okay. VIPKID has certain penalties for certain no-nos. If you're scheduled for a class and you miss it, whether you're sick or you sleep in or your internet stops working, you can get up to a $10 penalty deducted from your pay for that class. That being said, if you're sick, you can upload a doctor's note and get what's called a soft cancellation, which means that it won't count towards your record and you don't get pay deducted for it. If you sleep through a class, you just gotta deal with it. If you miss 3 classes in a day, that only counts as 1 cancellation. And in my first 6 months, I slept through 4 classes. I was so mad, but you get better at it as you get going. It's just kind of getting in the habit of not pressing snooze. Because you're teaching online, obviously tech issues are a thing. If your computer conks out, if your internet conks out, or if the student's internet or computer conks out, that's a tech issue. If you're having an active issue while you're teaching, you click a button and something called a fireman will come help you. It's basically an IT person in China who's dealing with a network who can try and fix your audio or your video. If the student's internet or computer conks out, it's labeled as a student IT and you still get paid for that class. If it's your fault, it's a teacher IT and you don't get paid for that class, even if you teach it. Freedom! I choose which hours I work, I choose how many hours I work, and I choose where I work. And I've worked from pretty much everywhere. That's a hotel room in New Brunswick. That's a hotel room in Vancouver. I was there for an audition. That's a hotel room somewhere I can't remember. That's my parents' house. That is a ski chalet in Ellicottville, New York. That is an Airbnb in Winnipeg. That is my grandmother's house. That is at our place in Florida. Those are all in London, England. I was there for a gig. More London, more London, more London. Wow, I was in London a lot this year. In terms of flexibility, you can't find a better job than this. I will break this all down for you in a moment, but basically you get a base rate, which is the amount you make per class. Every class you complete, you get a participation bonus of $1. If you teach more than 45 classes in a month, you get an extra bonus of $1. You get an extra $2 per short notice class. Trial turnover, you get an additional $5 per class. This is something that I've never explored myself, but I get an additional $100 per successful referral. So if I recommend VIPKID to someone and they use my referral code and they pass the hiring process, I get $100. I know some teachers who really bank on this. I've actually never referred anyone. If you want to sign up and you want to use my referral code, go for it. I'll put it here at the bottom. If not, no sweat. Honestly, it's just a great side job and I'd like to share it with as many of you as possible. Oh, there's also a raise scheme. I forgot about that. There's certain criteria you have to meet in order to get a raise on your base rate of pay. You can meet them if you put your mind to it, and I did. My last contract, I got a raise. This is gonna sound cheesy, That's fun. Like I said, I have many regular students. You get to know who they are, what they like, who their friends are, just by speaking to them every week. And it's a great way to start my morning positively. It gets my mind awake, it gets me focused on something else instead of my own stupid life. I'm kidding, my life's great. But it does, it makes me feel productive. How many of you can say that you've made money and been super productive before 9 a.m.? How much do I make? When you first get hired by VIPKID, they look at all of your experience and your education and they determine a base pay rate for you. Their base pay ranges from $7 a class to $9.50 a class. Now that's per class, not per hour. And when I say dollars, we're talking USD. So I'll do the calculations in USD, and then for our Canadian friends, I'll do the calculations with the exchange rate. And I'll do it with the current exchange rate. When I first started with VIPKID 2 years ago, my base pay rate was set at $7.50 per half hour, which works out to $15 per hour. You with me? Then with the incentives that I talked about, participation is an extra $1 per class. And if you teach more than 45 classes a month, which I always do, I get an extra $1 per class on top of that. Then after a year, I received a raise of 50 cents per class, which is $1 per hour. So with all of that, I make $10 per class, which is $20 per hour USD, which works out to $27.87 per hour in Canadian dollars. Plus some of the incentives that I already mentioned. If I did only short notice classes, which some teachers do, I would be making 24 USD an hour, which works out to 33.44 Canadian an hour. So I'll tell you how I did in my first 3 months, and I'll tell you how I did in my first year. In my first month with VIPKID, which was May 2018, I made $714.39. I made $270 from major course classes, which is regular students. I made $9.50 from a class called Little Translator, which they don't have anymore. I made $253.75 from trials. Then I made an extra $77 for my participation. They deducted $10 because I slept through a class. I successfully turned over 2 of those trials, which gave me $10. I taught more than 45 classes that month, which was $77 total. Then adjustments. I had an extra couple incentives going on for teachers that month, which was $27.14. June of 2018, my second month, I didn't sleep through any classes that month, so I didn't get any deductions. My third month with VIPKID, that's when I started cooking. I taught 140 classes that month. I slept through another class, so I got deducted $10 for a total of $1,333.80. Yay! After that third month, I could pretty much choose my own adventure with how many hours and how many classes I wanted to work per month. And depending on my needs in any given month, I set goals for myself. Usually my goal when I'm at home and I'm not traveling at all is 150 classes a month. However, in March 2019, I knew that I was going to have a lot to pay for in the next few months, so my goal was 200 classes, and I made it. I taught 204 classes and I made $2,007.75 USD. Now, I do this as a side hustle job. However, I do know teachers who use VIPKID as their full-time job. I just wanted to break down some of those numbers. The total number of classes that you could teach in a month with VIPKID is 316 classes. And believe me, I know teachers who teach every single class that they can. Now, my first year with VIPKID, I traveled a lot, but I was able to teach while I was traveling. This past year, working for Disney Cruise Line, obviously I wasn't teaching on a boat, so my numbers for this year are going to be quite a lot smaller. But I wanted to let you know what you can make working less than part-time in your first year. From May 2018 to April 2019, I made $15,021.19. For us Canadians, that would be $20,925.72. I taught 1,560 classes, which works out to 780 hours for the year. It's an average of 30 classes per week or 15 hours per week. 15 hours per week in the mornings isn't even a blip on my time management radar screen. I don't even notice I'm working those hours. So that's the poop. If any of you are interested in applying, feel free to use my referral code below. Real talk, I was embarrassed for the first year and a half to tell anybody other than my close family and my friends. I don't know why. I think there's something about having a side hustle that makes you feel like less of an artist because you have one. And I have 3. So if I subscribe to that mentality, I'm like a quarter artist and 3/4 hustler, which is not the case. Being an artist means being willing to hustle so that you can make your dreams come true. And a lot of our dreams are on hold right now. And I want you guys to feel empowered when you're looking for other work so that you can survive till the next gig. If we know each other and we're friends on social media, please feel free to message me with any questions you have if you're interested. I know it's a lot of information and it can seem really daunting and confusing, and I'm happy to help every step of the way. But if we don't know each other and you have any questions at all, please feel free to drop me a comment on YouTube. I would love to answer your questions. I've gone from being very secretive about this to very passionate about it. Like I said, it's totally changed the game for me. I felt like I grew wings, which sounds super cheesy, but it's so true. And as a bonus for watching this entire video, which you have, I'm going to share something with you. Every single VIPKID class is filmed so that you can go back and watch it, so that you can improve. Last year we had a bat problem, and I had a bat swooping around my head during one of my classes. Here is the recording. You're welcome. Bye!
Yellow.
Oh my goodness.